So a couple things that I address in this notebook. Um, the first thing is I talk about momentum and the fact that momentum is a real thing and it's really measurable. And as a data scientist for a long time, I've been using momentum to try to make better predictions about things that haven't happened yet, predicting the future. You can look at how somebody's behaving in the medium and short term and get a good idea of what they're going to do going forward. And that's true of people, it's true of groups of people, and it's also true of machines. And it's a pretty common technique that I've used in a lot of different applications. In this article or this notebook, what I do is I take that same thing that I've done past in the data science world and apply it to the National Football League. And this happened. I got the idea to do this, last January. There was a specific play in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game where the Lions were driving. They had a 4th and 3, I believe, from the 49ers 30-yard line, and Dan Campbell, coach of the Lions, decided to go for it. And I remember the commentators. It was Buck and Aikman, and they were talking about the analytics and how the analytics, what they said and whatnot, and the analytics didn't quite sound right to me when they were talking about it. So anyway, I built this model that uses momentum to try to make a forecast of what's going to happen on fourth down. So the idea is that you could accumulate statistics in real time over the course of a game, and then when it's fourth down, you could run this model on those accumulated statistics and get a pretty accurate prediction of the likelihood to convert. So there's a few things. One, like I said, one thing I did is I went through and I calculated all these momentum variables, and I go through that um, in a lot of detail. Which if you're into notebooks and data science, you can read through how I did this. The other thing I did is I built the machine learning model based on those metrics um, down here, and to get these momentum metrics, I had to do a lot of what we call feature engineering. I had to manipulate the data quite a bit. But once I have all of these momentum statistics aggregated, I can build a model to project whether or not a team is going to convert on fourth down. And that's what I do here in section 4. Again, if you're a data scientist, you can go in and geek out through all this kind of stuff. But net, if you're not a data scientist, the model that we built predicts accurately at 87%. And what that is, we took all of the data from the NFL from 1999 through 2021. We used that data and we built a model. And then we tested that model on 2022 and 2023. So 87%, that is model, that's accuracy for 2022 and 23 based on a model that was built on everything from 99 to 21. So it's not like we're, building a model on 2023 and then making a prediction on 2023. That's not what we're doing. We're building a model on the past and see how well it does with data that it's never seen before. And that's a fairly standard data science technique. So the accuracy is about 87%, and that's really, really good when you consider that there's a lot of uncontrollable factors in a fourth down play. I mean, the tackle could, forget what he's doing. The quarterback could drop the ball. The running back could go the wrong way. The defense could just be, have a, guess the right play. There's a lot of factors that would make somebody not convert a fourth down, even though it's highly probable that they would. So an 87% accuracy rate in this situation is actually really, really good. And to give you a little more insight on the accuracy, if the model predicts that somebody's not going to convert a fourth down, so the model's saying odds are you're not going to make you're not going to convert this fourth down play. That model's going to be right about 86% of the time and wrong about 14% of the time. If the model predicts that you will convert a fourth down, it's going to be wrong about 11% of the time and correct about 89% of the time. Another thing you can do, and here's all the variables that are important or that are going in to making these predictions. The most important thing by far is how long the team has moved, how far the team has moved the ball on the current drive. So if you've moved the ball 30 yards, you're a lot more likely to convert on fourth down if you've moved the ball 8 yards. If you've moved the ball 60 yards, you're a lot more likely to convert than you've moved the ball 6 yards. And again, that's momentum, right? The more you're moving the ball, the longer you've held the ball, the more yards you've gained on the current drive, the more momentum you have, the more positive things that have happened to you in the immediate past. The yard line you're on also is important. You're more likely to convert closer to the opponent's end zone than you are to your end zone. I could say that there's probably momentum in that, although it's not a direct momentum measure. How many yards they've gained in the last 10 plays, and the down and distance is obviously important too. I mean, it's easier to convert 4th and 1 than 4th and 90, right? How many yards they've made on the previous 15 plays is also an important driver. So these are the kind of things that I looked at to try to make these predictions. So now that we have this model, we can go in and kind of do analysis on the results and tease out some interesting facts. One thing that I kind of alluded to earlier was the game in the NFC Championship game. When Dan Campbell, before he snapped the ball in that fourth down play, this model would have said they had a 20% chance of converting. So 20% chance of converting that play, 80% chance of not converting. I don't know how risky of a coach Dan Campbell is, but odds say that he was not going to convert that play. Interesting. I mean, would he make a different decision if he had this information? I don't know. You can also look at the teams in 2023 that did the best job of picking situations to go for it on fourth down. That is, they went for it in situations where they had the highest chances of converting. So another way to say that is that the coaches on this list of teams that coached this list of teams had a good sense of how the game was going and took chances when they had a really good chance of converting. The best team at doing that was Denver last year, followed by Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Baltimore. You can also look at the teams that did the worst job of that. I mean, these are the teams that went for it in situations where they had no chance of converting or a low chance of converting. The worst was the New York Giants, then Arizona, New England, Houston, and Pittsburgh kind of round out the bottom five. So we can also look at this graphically. This is actually the median article. But on this axis right here, we have the fourth down conversion rate. So this is the percentage of times that the team in question made it or were successful when they went for it on fourth down. And this is the probability coming out of the model. So this was what the model says the odds were for converting when they decided to go for it. It's kind of interesting. Baltimore is way up here. They have a really high conversion rate, and they also only go for it when they have a high probability of converting. So, it says Jim Harbaugh does a real good job of kind of assessing the situation and deciding when to go for it. And that his team also is well prepared and does a good job of converting. You can also see the strong linear line here between these two axes, and that just tells you that the model is accurate. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Interesting down here, if you look at Dallas and Washington, and I'm not sure what this says, but the coaches are making good decisions when it comes to fourth down. They're only going for it when the probability is high, but they're doing a bad job of converting. So I'm not sure what that says. Anyway, I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn or through email or through the Medium message app. Thank you very much and have a great day.